eat. And we have the symbol of paganism on the up left. But anyway, garlic and yeast infections. I actually have printed it out, but I guess I thought, well, why not just read it on the mobile? So, I've taken a lot of garlic and all that, and I don't know if it actually... It's not a cure as such, at least not for me, but I don't have any problem with garlic as such. But I wanted to read a little in regards to what they write here. I do wonder in regards to putting garlic in the yogurt, so I'm actually thinking of trying to do that. I have three what do you call it, glass bottles in some sense with yogurt, and I was thinking of trying to put yogurt in one of them and let it ferment with the yogurt, with the souring and all that. I think it seems like the body actually have a hard time breaking down the garlic, but I guess the idea of the garlic was to be able to destroy the gut. Destroy the fungus in the gut. But anyway, and of course you do smell of garlic when you actually eat garlic, right? So something must be taken up by the body for sure. If you go into a sauna, for example, people will complain of because it seems to go through your skin and all that. Anyway, so I found this website and it seemed a little interesting, and I think they also talk about other things than garlic. Yeah, I don't know if they talk about yogurt on it, but by the way, I found the place with Doc Kaufman, which was very interesting. Let's see if I can actually find it just quickly. I think that was some gold information that he gave. Let's see if I can find it here. Apparently I pushed something wrong here and I can't go back. And the background noise is my fan, and I should probably turn that off. The computer does get a little heated, but it does work without the fan running. See if we can find it here. There we go. Actually, I can probably find it on my... I posted it actually on my... So why not go for the mobile? We don't have that much power on the mobile at the moment, but I guess it hopefully is enough, but I'm not sure. Maybe I can turn it a little down, then it will use less. So let's go. And I took I think it was my second, sixth capsule of nystatin now. So after my eating and all that, there we go. So this is Doggy Goody 2420 to 2915. Actually it's less than that, but I took it all in regards to the context. So let's see if we can get to 2420, I think it was. 24. I was a little slow to react.
And
there we go.
I don't know what happened. I fall apart.
Takes a little time to get to the point.
Coco, have you ever had a cheeseburger? I'll eat a
turn
cheeseburger.
That off.
Anything to be with that little boy. You know what he did, John? I didn't tell you. But he FaceTimed me today. His mom gave him her phone.
Apparently have full.
And he FaceTimed me. I was over in my office doing this. And he sets the phone down. And I'm looking at a chandelier in their bedroom.
Further?
For 15 minutes while he's talking to me. He says, hey, Coach.
24. That's a little too...
My question is, my energy levels are going up and down. Okay,
wow.
I used sugar for energy before. Now I'm looking for something to help me. Okay, so I've got to just tell you guys, because I just told this doctor on the phone about this. He said as he got started on the program, he said, I kind of feel punk for a couple days. I really don't feel good. Normally, I really feel good. So I explained Herxheimer's, right? And I explained how you might feel absolutely horrible and itch more and more, mucus in your nose and so forth for the first few days. That is generally followed, Martine, by what I used to call the yo-yo effect. And all doctors' patients who worked with me said, Doug, I'm yo-yoing. And we both knew exactly what that was. I'm going 5 days, Martine says, and I feel on top of the world. My energy levels, I want to go out and walk, and I want to jog, and I feel really good. And man, I didn't cheat, Doug. And the next day, I'm just like this. Folks, the yeast don't die off totally, nor are there 17 fungi or yeast. There's likely millions of them. And, I've taught you that green apples are okay. Well, the argument is still some carbs, right? And so it depends, Martine. Everybody represented to me, every patient of the thousands I saw of these doctors' patients, everyone represented a thumbprint. And as we began to carefully analyze with some of these people, they couldn't do green apple. They couldn't do berries. If I took them off all fruits, grapefruit and everything, they really had weeks and weeks and weeks of feeling great. So theirs was probably what we call a deeper mycoses than other people. Your husband can go off beer and feel like $1 million. You've got to go off fruit and bread and pasta and sugar and everything to feel like $1 million. We're all on this road at a different time and in a different stage. So, Martine, that's a signal, if you get that down day, to think, I'm glad Doug said that, because I made a carrot juice the other day. Carrots on the glycemic index. Carrots got sugar in it. And by the by, when I used to eat a bunch of carrots every day, I used to eat around that central core that's so sugary, and then I'd eat the sugary. There's no way to juice a carrot without eating the middle core, that sugary part, right? But think back. Every day, Doug, when I wake up and feel kind of punk, the night before, the day before, breakfast, lunch, or dinner I've had, fill in the blank, and you'll be able to find how to go 2 weeks. But generally speaking, Martine, people felt horrible for 2 or 3 days, then they'd pop out of it. Then they'd really start feeling good, and then for reasons we don't know, recirculation of mycotoxins, they have a down day, followed by 4 good days. I beat it. Followed by the 5th day, I didn't cheat, ate boring food, and I feel horrible. Likely you did cheat or challenge just according to Doug's rules, not your thumbprint. You probably ate something the day before, usually dinner that night, that may have caused you to nosedive a little bit. And you'll find that out. I'm so glad you have Tommy to work with, because he really understands this. Just know that 2 months from now, Christmas time, you'll probably feel like $1 million every day. This, Martine, is the volume switch that I try and teach people. Turn it. I know this sounds hard to believe, but 60 days from today, you'll probably be able to. The one thing people tell me that they sin with, I often laugh at this because I met and spent a little time with Linus Pauling in California, is an orange. Doug, it's such a good fruit. I love an orange. And when I eat an orange, though, diabetics used to carry an orange. Now it's candy bar. My grandma used to carry an orange. And the doctor said if she went into diabetic coma, cut that orange and eat it quickly. Boy, that's a medication. Get your blood sugar right back up, which is why it isn't on the Kaufman diets. But sometimes people eat watermelon or some kind of a melon or an orange, and they'll take a nosedive. Well, there's a cause and effect relationship with that. 2 months from now, you're gonna be on top of this, Martine. You're gonna know how to turn it up and turn it down. Okay? Good. I'm so glad you're with me. Here comes Tommy.
So that was very interesting. Hopefully you could hear that. It was one of these gold nuggets from Doug Kaufman. Now, he is a Roman papist, but, you see the Christ Mass being fixed in there and all that. But besides that, he, in regards of the fungus, he really knows his stuff on fungi. It's wonderful. But, just be aware of the Catholic things that is in there. The Roman Catholic celebrations and all that, and and going to heaven directly when you die, and so some of these false doctrines and all that. The righteous shall inherit the earth, not the heavens. Jesus is coming back to establish his kingdom on earth, not. So anyway, so there's a lot of you just have to be aware of that. But in regards of fungus, he really knows his stuff on fungi, and he goes the natural route instead of. You have to be careful because I've seen him also promote yoga. Yoga is Hinduism, it's paganism, it's nothing you should do. Anyway, but again, you eat the meat and spit out the bones. Just have to discern what is wrong and what is right. In regards of the fungus things, you really have a lot of good things on fungus. Anyway, so let's read this. Let's see what there is of good things. So garlic, Allium sativum, I guess that must be, again, Latin. Garlic is a potent antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral herb. What's it called? Antimicrobial, I think that word is, when it's anti everything. So antiviral herb that has a wide array of health uses. Also, some say it's also good to remove things in your blood, and it's also a blood thinner, I've heard, because you're not allowed to eat, you have to be careful of eating garlic when you are on blood thinning medicine. And I'm like, well, why would I take blood thinning medicine if I can just eat something natural? And they have other things than garlic that apparently is a blood thinning that you're not allowed to use when you're. And I'm like, why not just eat the garlic? Trash the medication, figure out how much garlic you need to get the same effect, and just trash the medication. You should be able to figure that out with your doctor, right? Oh, how is my blood and so forward, and okay, let's try to eat, 10 garlic cloves or whatever, whatever. Anyway, you should be, and it's, it has other health effects as well. So the ancient Egyptians would use honey and garlic mixture to treat infected teeth. That sounds dangerous, but you have the honey, there's a lot of sugar in this as well. But it seems a lot of people are talking positive about honey having antifungal and things and all that in it. And I don't know, there's still sugar in it, and I have tried at some point. I'm not sure if it was raw honey that I got. That's a problem because apparently apparently a lot of the things that is in the stores are not raw. So it's incredible how we are destroying our food sources. I did found a website where they were talking about raw honey and all that, and you can order it from them. And that they told this is like, it's not, they told about how the other, and apparently we have network connections again, which is just incredible because, again, nearly full signal and on 4G, so it's just bullshit. Again, I still have no idea what the problem is in regards of if it's YouTube that has problems following along because a lot of people are uploading to their servers or what, But anyway, so garlic is a potent antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral herb that has a wide array of health uses. And so the website in regards to Denmark talked about how the other, these honey, where they were storing the honey and how it was actually, again, because actually declining from the natural product and so forward. Not a surprise that they also would ruin, and heating it up and so forward. It's just incredible. So, yeah, that was a Danish website, and you could then order from them in regards to raw honey and all that. Can't remember all the information, but yeah. So, but I have tried honey. At least those things that I've tried, again, it's sugar. So it still seemed to be a problem in regards of feeding the fungi in the body. But I guess if it's going, I don't know. Anyway, it didn't seem to really do the thing for me that Anyway, I had to try, I guess. But anyway, the ancient Egyptians would use honey and garlic mixture to treat infected teeth. You can use garlic internally and topically to get rid of yeast infection. So, some say that this gut guy, I think he's called Mike, he talks about also using honey for the gut, he says it's a natural way of removing the Candida film and all that from your gut. So it's a natural antibiotic, what's it called? Not antibiotic, but an anti, fungus thing and all that. And he also talks about yogurt and all that. But the problem is, I think I have some problems in regards of my teeth and my joints and all that. Seems to be there's something I need more of, supporting more stuff that supports the joints and so forward, because it's going downhill and I need to turn the boat around on that as well. And again, one of the things that probably, that sounds like it might actually help would be chicken feed. There's a lot of things that we can't apparently get, which is hard to get in regards of goodies that should help the joints. But yeah, but I have a lot of information and I have not tried the things out, and there's so many things. Yeah, but it seems like the sour yogurt actually seems to promote my issues in the joints and so forward, and my having some things in my teeth. Anyway, so that's of course not so good. So you can use garlic internally or topically to get rid of yeast infection. Make sure you mix the garlic in a blender and let it set for a stronger remedy. As in regards of 5 to 10 minutes, just to in the air, as I understand it, when you crush it up. I'm not sure why they use a blender. Mix the garlic in a blender. I don't know. The mixing of garlic causes allicin and allinasa to mix and form allicin. And as I understand it, when you take a garlic crusher, you crush the garlic on the plate or whatever, and let it sit for around 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not sure if it will work inside the yogurt itself, but I'm not sure if any of the air has I don't know. Allicin won't be formed in your stomach. Yeah, so if it won't be formed in your stomach, it might not be formed in the yogurt either. So you would, I would be on the safe side and do it on a plate. That's the way I've done it anyway. And just let it set for 5 or 10 minutes before you put it in the yogurt or something like that, or whatever in regards of the honey, allicin won't be formed in your stomach. I'm just talking about in regards to the yogurt I have, So I'm going to try to see, to put some garlic in one of the milk things I have that is going to turn to yogurt, over a couple of days and so forward. I guess 3 or 4 days, it should be pretty good. It has nearly stood for, I guess, I bought it yesterday, so maybe a little over a half day it has been souring. So 3 or 4 days more, I think, and it should be beginning to get to a good stage. So the mixing of garlic causes allicin and allinasa to mix and form allicin. Allicin won't be formed in your stomach as the strong acid deactivates the enzyme allinasa. So if that is true, well, if you would put it in the yogurt, which is very acidic, that would you would need to have it just having it stand for a little time to actually get it. I do wonder in regards of just standard milk, then if it still would work if you put it in the milk in the beginning. If it still would mix up, and then the milk becomes more and more acidic, of course, but then it should actually already have mixed up. I would think. I don't know. I really don't know if it would still be mixing if that is the case. Allicin won't be formed in your stomach as the strong acid deactivates the enzyme allicinasa. However, pureed garlic can be very strong and may cause skin irritation. Yeah. If you, for example, have fixed garlic and all that, and you go out to pee and you have it on your hands and a little piece gets on your private part, that might actually hurt. You might, it was like, oh, it's hurting down there. What's wrong? Well, that might just be a little garlic that is sitting on the on your yeah. Anyway, so how to use garlic to treat yeast infection? Yes, you can use garlic for treating a yeast infection, and due to the powerful chemical constituents. So yes, you can use garlic for treating yeast infection, and due to the powerful chemical constituent in garlic, it will work very well. Garlic is an ancient medicinal remedy used since the time of ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians would mix honey and garlic together to treat toothaches, I think, or something like that. Heinemann, 1994. And you can do the same to treat a fungal infection. Both garlic and honey will stop the development of Candida. You can even use another Candida killing oil, coconut oil, to mix your garlic in with just a few cloves of crushed garlic mixed with honey or coconut oil. So they make a mixture here. You can apply the mixture to the vagina, penis, or any other area you have yeast infection. Oh my! I don't know how I would if I would do that. That seems very garlic in honey and coconut oil and put it on the penis. I don't know if that sounds like a pretty good idea. That seems like actually might actually be I don't know, whatever. After a few days, you may want to crush or blend up the garlic you use, as this will create. But you may want to crush or blend up the garlic you use, as this will create a chemical allicin. More on that later. Yet it is a trade-off because crushed garlic may irritate sensitive skin. If you want to be safe for vaginal yeast infection, you can tie a string into a few peeled cloves of garlic and insert them into the vagina. Well, I remember hearing about that, and also something about making a little things in the garlic so the juice gets out. A little snits. What is it called? You take a knife and just so it bleeds in some sense. There was something about that. But anyway. I think there was something in regards of putting it up there, and then laying and sleeping for, over the night, and then just taking it out afterwards. I don't know how that would be. Garlic can be pretty strong and all that, so I don't know about that. I'm not a woman, so I can't test it either. So anyway, garlic can also stop Candida biofilm formation and germ tube. They call it germ tube apparently. Hyphal growth. Biofilm, when present, can drastically increase Candida's resistance to antifungal drugs. And germ tubes also allow Candida to start a more vicious yeast infection, fungal infection. If you have a stubborn, seemingly untreatable yeast infection, biofilm and germ tubes may be the two key reasons you haven't seemed to recover. Later on, we will discuss studies that have shown garlic is able to reduce biofilm and germ tube growth of Candida cells. Thus, this natural herb is a very excellent choice when you want to naturally treat a yeast infection, which again is pretty much a fungal infection, as I understand it, because it goes into its fungal form at that point. Also, make sure to use fresh garlic. Aged garlic doesn't work as well and is probably a lot more expensive. Why would it be more expensive? I don't know. Anyway, as the renowned herbalist Dr. James Duke says in his book, The Green Pharmacy, mixing different herbs together would likely result in a more effective natural remedy for fungal infections. Duke states that studies have shown that mixtures of antifungal plant oils often work much better than single oils alone. There is a healing synergy that can result when you added a few different types of medicinal plants to a remedy. Garlic and Candida research. The first study looked at the antifungal capabilities of both fresh onion and garlic bulb extracts. I think I have tried that as well in regards of the fresh, where juice the fresh onion and put it in a spray and all that. But again, I've tried many weird things, and the thing is, if the issue is more systemic, it won't really help fixing the outer thing, because it will just come again, because the issue, you're treating the smoke, not the fire, and when you're treating the smoke instead of the fire, the problem comes back, because it will begin to smoke again, after you blow it away. Anyway. The first study at the antifungal capabilities of both fresh onion and garlic bulb extracts. This research was published in the journal Phytotherapia 77.4 2006, 321 to 323 page. The liquid extract was created by the researchers and then reduced into a powder. There were several different types of Candida the study tested the extract on. The species of Candida include the following: Candida albicans, 18 strains; Candida glabrata, 6 strains. What is the different strains of what? The species of Candida included the following: Candida albicans, 18 strains. I wonder if, in regards of the different strains, that in regards of different resistance as well. Candida glabrata, 6 strains. Candida, let's see what a strain actually is. Let's see if we can find it in a strain. Is that a variation of that, I guess, I don't know, deformation of a physical body under the action? No. A special variety of domestic animals within a species. Okay. So it's I guess, variations of Candida. I don't know. They seemingly they can have different resistances, right? So I don't know if that is meant for, maybe difference biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from a similar group. And I guess that might be in regards of different resistances. We have already a warning in regards of the battery. Give me a break. Anyway. So, Candida glabrata, 6 strains. Candida tropicalis, 5 strains. And Candida parapsilosis or I'm not sure how you say it, 1 strain. All the strains of Candida in the study were inhibited by 90% by doses that never exceeded 2 microgram per milliliter of garlic extract. So what did they do? The first study looked at the antifungal capabilities of both fresh onion and garlic bulb extract. This research was published in the journal Phytotherapia and so forward. The liquid extract was created by the researchers and then reduced into a powder. So the liquid extract. So first it was an extract and it was reduced into a powder. Okay, so could you juice it maybe? So if you juice an onion or garlic and all that, could you then let it sit and heat up and make it into maybe a powder over time? I don't know. So anyway. So all of the strains of Candida in the study were inhibited by 90% of the doses that never exceeded 2 milligram per milliliter of garlic extract. So clearly garlic makes a very powerful yeast infection remedy. The geometric main concentration required to achieve a 90% inhibition of the various yeast are listed below. Candida albicans 0.569 milligram per milliliter. Candida glabrata 0.362 milligram per milliliter. Candida tropicalis 0.338 milligram per milliliter, and Candida parapsilosis 0.25 milligram per milliliter. Another study also examined the effect of garlic and other herbs on Candida albicans. The study was published in the journal Clinical Biochemistry 44.13 2011 S339. The other herbs used in the study included marigold, cinnamon, and thyme. Let's just have that with as well. So again, that's. Let's see. There we go. The garlic and other herbs were all fresh, and they were percolated in a water and alcohol solution. Alcohol. Why alcohol? The resulting liquid was then evaporated to various concentrations and tested on Candida albicans. The study found various minimum inhibitory concentrations, amount needed to arrest development, and minimum fungicidal concentration, that is, fungicidal is to kill it, amount needed to kill. Okay, yeah, that's actually said. Okay. Cinnamon extract was shown to be the most efficacious of the herbs at killing. Efficacious, I guess, effective. Just don't use the English word, I guess. Power.
Efficacious.
Yeah, striking, yeah. So effectual, yeah. Efficacious of the herbs at killing Candida albicans. However, the use of alcohol may have altered the candicidal ability of garlic and the other herbs. Yeah, because they used alcohol. Why would they use alcohol? And they say enhancing some while reducing others. The following lethal doses for the various herbs against Candida albicans are as follows: garlic 256 milligram per milliliter, cinnamon 15 milligram per milliliter, marigold 70 milligram per milliliter, and thyme 31.25 milligrams per milliliter. I know about cinnamon. I don't know in regards to marigold and thyme. I can't remember if I've tried those. But anyway, the next study published in Microbial Ecology in Health and Disease 15.4 2003 to 993 to 199 pages, I guess, looked at how a mixture of Lactobacillus acidophilus and garlic extract would affect Candida albicans. The study found that Lactobacillus, and that should be one of the probiotics that I have in my yogurt. Now, of course, I mix different kinds of bacteria together. It's just took different kinds of yogurts and mixed them together and all that. So I don't know which kinds would have survived, and if there's anything that some might kill off others. I don't know. But I think lactobacillus is one of the things that I actually had in one of the yogurts. But anyway, a study found that Lactobacillus acidophilus alone could drastically reduce the amount of Candida albicans in a 24-hour period. So if I crush up the garlic, let it sit for around 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever, just to be sure, and then put it in the yogurt and let it sour with that. That should be pretty powerful. I do wonder, you could probably also put cinnamon in it and a lot of other herbs, put it in the yogurt directly and make a very powerful, antifungal, So, you have the low pH, which is already effective. You have the probiotics, and then you will have the antifungals. I guess that could become a very, very, very potent, killer of the fungi. And with the garlic, you have all the, you have more, more things to affect the fungi on different levels. So I guess that would, it makes sense that more antifungals would be more potent, because the fungi is then attacked on so many multiple levels, right? And when the garlic extract was added to Lactobacillus acidophilus, it only took 4 hours to totally wipe out all Candida albicans. Thus, this study shows it would be prudent to use a probiotic like Lactobacillus acidophilus. They have a way of, shortening the things. It's very annoying. But anyway, along with herbal remedies for perhaps a much better result, The following chart was taken from the study and shows how well the probiotics alone and in conjunction with garlic worked at eradicating Candida albicans. So think about it. If you make yogurt, real raw yogurt and all that, and put garlic, cinnamon, and marigold, and thyme, and so forward, and in there, and other things maybe, or oregano as well. Maybe some of the hotness of, what is it called? That is also said to be antifungal. What's it called? I can't remember. But anyway, just put some antifungals in there. Maybe you could even drop some oil drops in there, that would probably also be pretty potent, instead of using herbs, you could just do the oils themselves, the antifungal oils, and maybe just drop a drop of, or maybe more, into the yogurt and let it ferment with the oil, and I guess you could have a pretty powerful way of killing fungi. That's, it gives more ideas and all that to actually just totally. The problem is still, even if you fix it in the gut, how do you get it out of the body, Of course, some of these remedies is getting absorbed in the body and all that, but you're still getting some sugar, I think, from the yogurt, and in regards of the lower pH might not be so good if you have issues with your joints. So again, you would need some food that also helps reestablishing your joints, like for example chicken feet, which I haven't been able to find or get in regards of not being slaughtered to a false god and all that. And I don't really care if they're frozen or not. It doesn't really matter. The problem is in regards of is it slaughtered to Allah or not. Again, it's incredible that in Denmark, a country that is said to be Christian, is having food slaughtered to a false god. So much of it, most of the food actually, most of the meat, it's just disgusting. Utterly disgusting. The next study published in okay, we already took that. So it only took 4 hours to totally wipe out all Candida albicans. Thus, this study shows it and would be prudent to use a probiotic like C. aphidophilus along with herbal remedies for perhaps a much better result. The following chart was taken from the study and shows how well the probiotic alone and in conjunction with garlic worked at eradicating Candida albicans cells. Now, I don't know in regards to the spores and all that, because if it doesn't wipe out the spores can still come back and grow up. So you would be able, you would need to take it in multiple, you would need to so it doesn't really come back. I guess one could just go down and find a yogurt with the Lactobacillus aphidophilus, and then use that to and put it in the milk, and so it makes if it's not raw milk anyway, and then just let it But there's so many factors in nature, and we have a way of ruining everything. Every time we seem to do something, we seem to ruin things. And go away from how God designed it. I don't know. Again, I don't know how many different bacteria there are in real raw milk, but there are bacteria enough to make it into to natural, making into a natural yogurt if you just let it sit, as I understand it. So you don't need to what's it called, inoculate it, I think it's called. You can just let it sit and it will turn to yogurt over some time. So garlic breaks down Candida biofilm. Candida, like many other microorganisms, can form a thick layer of sludge to cover itself with. This layer of sludge is known as a biofilm, and it can lend the yeast cells covered by it a much greater resistance to prescription or antifungal drugs. A study conducted by Can et al. 2012 indicate that biofilm can raise the resistance of Candida to drugs like drugs like fluconazole or fluconazole, that's diflucan, or amphotericin B, and that's used systemic in regards of into the blood directly. Diflucan can be taken orally. Anyway, amphotericin B by 1024 to 2000 times. So when it makes this biofilm, which I guess the biofilm must probably be the defense, like when we played the game or when I played the fungal game, the fungus can make this this shield in some sense. I guess that must be the biofilm. So I do wonder how that if it's already protected by its layer of was it called chitin or something like that. If it then can have another shielding outside, I have a lot of questions. I really I have a lot of questions to ask some of these people that knows more about these fungi things and all that. That's for sure. Another study by Candida et al., I'm not sure what that means, 2001, also showed that biofilm formation could, it's annoying, etc. or something, et al. By et al. Let's see, et al. Does you have anything in regards et al. And others? Oh yeah, you couldn't just write down and others. Provision of ali, masculine plural of alia, feminine plural of alia. Is probably in regards of Latin again. Yeah, et al. Yeah, let's not just talk English. Let's not just give this bullshit language of Latin, or if it's yeah, etc. is Latin, right? So this is probably also Latin. Et al.
Et al.
Et al. Yeah, it's just incredible. Stupidity. What was it that it meant again? Let's see. And others. Yeah, because we couldn't write and others. So another study by Candida and others, 2001, also showed that biofilm formation could drastically raise the dosage of 4 prescription drugs required to stop Candida. Fortunately, Candida's study also showed that lemongrass essential oil and clove essential oil could both cut through the biofilm and stop the yeast very effectively. I don't think I've tried lemongrass. I heard about that before. I do have some clove essential oil, and I'm also eating cloves at the moment. I have a bucket of them standing near to me, just eating them like popcorn or whatever. People, I saw that, if you ate too many and this and that, that seems to be bullshit, because I haven't had any, at least for me, I haven't had any problems just, chewing a huge amount of them down. Yeah, and they're pretty heated and all that, but you tend to get used to that, and it's just like popcorn in some sense, Not in regards of the way they taste and so forward, but in regards of being in a bucket, and you just take them and, just chew them a little, and then you just swallow them. So also showed that so I guess there's probably a lot of scare tactics from natural sources, That's sad, very sad. So lemongrass essential oil will be, of course, that you could put that in the yogurt as well. Think about it. You could pretty much make a very, very powerful, yogurt. And the question is, why don't we have any antifungal yogurts on the market? Isn't it interesting? They always put a lot of sugary things in the yogurts and all that, right? Why not put some antifungals in them? You can't make a product that tastes good with antifungals, or, what is wrong with this world, And now the food sources we have is totally made to, make us ripe to get fungal infections. It's incredible. It seems like it's like a demonic agenda. And of course, I remember when I asked one of these demons when I was in the occult, why all the bad foods was the things that tasted good and so forward, in regards to... And I was told, because we wanted the experience. Oh, give me a break, these liars of demons, So anyway, yeah, just total bullshitters, these demons, and they're deceiving so many people in our days. So I guess the demons are probably behind all these, that people are following these satanic powers instead of following truth. At least it's very interesting to see how much bullshit food we have in the supermarket, Anyway, I remember, when I saw this, line of, all these colors and, of chips and packages and all that, while I was asking this, entity, which was just a demon, but they come in many disguises and so